Hello, welcome back. It's Friday. Let's read more about batteries. That for drones, lithium, LiPo batteries for my drones. I had my charger is falling on the floor. No, it cannot be there because I have all these stamps. But that's a charger to lithium batteries. I got some here. I use it for my drones. Yes, that's lithium batteries for drones. Lithium or polymer. Yes, something wrong with my camcorder. I'm sorry for this, but this is how my life is. Always something wrong. Always nothing works. That's a kind of battery to drone. Lithium polymer batteries. That's a XT60 connection. That's kind of different kind of chargers. Different kind of chargers to this. All XT16. All kind of batteries. That's single cells chargers. I don't know what I got here. Well, this is a bit swollen. Actually, should put this to garbage because it starts to have air inside. It can pop up. Actually, I should put this in. That's my biggest battery, but it starts to pop up. So actually I would need a metal box. I got some battery there, but I put it on metal. But there's a lot of stuff here can burning my stuff. So actually this lithium battery could be a bit dangerous. It can catch fire. They can catch fire. So actually I should have a fire alarm. But I don't have that. All this battery should be in a metal box, a fireproof metal box, and I should have a fire alarm. So I think I have to put this big battery to the garbage because it's swollen. I have gas inside. But that's an old battery.
Electric battery. Page semi-protected. Battery various cells and batteries. Top left, top bottom right 2A, 1D, 1 handheld ham radio battery, 2 9V, PP3, 2 AAA, 1C, 1 camcorder battery, 1 cordless phone battery type E power source working principle electrochemical reactions electromotive force first production 1800s electronic symbol the symbol for a battery in a circuit diagram. It originated as a schematic drawing of the earliest type of battery, a voltaic pile. A battery is a source of electric power consisting of one or more electrochemical cells with external connections. 1. For powering electrical devices. When a battery is supplying power, its positive terminal is the cathode and its negative terminal is the anode. 2. The terminal marked negative is the source of electrons that will flow through an external electric circuit to the positive terminal. When a battery is connected to an external electric load, a redox reaction converts high energy reactants to lower energy products, and the free energy difference is delivered to the external circuit as electrical energy. Historically, the term battery specifically referred to a device composed of multiple cells. However, the usage has evolved to include devices composed of a single cell. 3. Primary, single-use or disposable. Batteries are used once and discarded, as the electrode materials are irreversibly changed during discharge. A common example is the alkaline battery used for flashlights and a multitude of portable electronic devices. Secondary, rechargeable. Batteries can be discharged and recharged multiple times using an applied electric current. The original composition of the electrodes can be restored by reverse current. Examples include the lead-acid batteries used in vehicles and lithium-ion batteries used for portable electronics such as laptops and mobile phones. Batteries come in many shapes and sizes, from miniature cells to power hearing aids and wristwatches to, at the largest extreme, huge battery banks the size of rooms that provide a standby or emergency power for telephone exchanges and computer data centers. Batteries have much lower specific energy per unit mass, than common fuels such as gasoline. In automobiles, this is somewhat offset by the high efficiency of electric motors in converting electrical energy to mechanical work, compared to combustion engines. History. Invention. Benjamin Franklin first used the term battery in 1749 when he was doing experiments with electricizing a set of linked Leyden jar capacitors. 4. Franklin grouped a number of the jars into what he described as a battery, using the military term for weapons functioning together. 5. By multiplying the number of holding vessels, a stronger charge could be stored, and more power would be available on discharge. A voltaic pile. The first battery. Italian physicist Alessandro Volta demonstrating his pile to French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. Italian physicist Alessandro Volta built and described the first electrochemical battery, the voltaic pile, in 1800. 6. Guys was a stack of copper and zinc plates separated by brine-soaked paper discs that could produce a steady current for a considerable length of time. Volta did not understand that the voltage was due to chemical reactions. He thought that the cells were an inexhaustible source of energy. 7. And that the associated corrosion effects at the electrodes were a mere nuisance, rather than an unavoidable consequence of their operation, as Michael Faraday showed in 1834. 8. Although early batteries were of great value for experimental purposes. 9. In practice their voltages fluctuated and they could not provide a large current for a sustained period. The Daniell cell, invented in 1836 by British chemist John Frederick Daniell, was the first practical source of electricity, becoming an industry standard and seeing widespread adoption as a power source for electrical telegraph networks. 10. It consisted of a copper pot filled with a copper sulfate solution, in which was immersed an unglazed earthenware container filled with sulfuric acid and a zinc electrode. 11. These wet cells used liquid electrolytes, which were prone to leakage and spillage if not handled correctly. Many used glass jars to hold their components, which made them fragile and potentially dangerous. These characteristics made wet cells unsuitable for portable appliances. Near the end of the 19th century, the invention of dry cell batteries, which replaced the liquid electrolyte with a paste, made portable electrical devices practical. 12. Batteries in vacuum tube devices historically used a wet cell for the A battery, to provide power to filament, and a dry cell for the B battery, to provide the plate voltage. Future. Between 2010 and 2018, annual battery demand grew by 30%, reaching a total of 180 GWh in 2018. Conservatively, The growth rate is expected to be maintained at an estimated 25%, culminating in demand reaching 2,600 GWh in 2030. In addition, cost reductions are expected to further increase the demand to as much as 3,562 GWh. 13. Important reasons for this high rate of growth of the electric battery industry include the electrification of transport. 13. And large-scale deployment in electricity grids. 13. Supported by anthropogenic climate change-driven moves away from fossil fuel-combusted energy sources to cleaner, renewable sources, and more stringent emission regimes. Distributed electric batteries, such as those used in battery electric vehicles, vehicle-to-grid, and in home energy storage, with smart metering and that are connected to smart grids for demand response, are active participants in smart power supply grids. 14. New methods of reuse, such as echelon use of partly user batteries, add to the overall utility of electric batteries, reduce energy storage costs, and also reduce pollution /emission impacts due to longer lives. In echelon use of batteries, vehicle electric batteries half of their battery capacity reduced to less than 80%, usually after service of 5-8 years, are repurposed for us as backup supply or for renewable energy storage systems. 15. Grid-scale energy storage envisages the large-scale use of batteries to collect and store energy from the grid or a power plant and then discharge that energy at a later time to provide electricity or other grid services when needed. Grid-scale energy storage, either turnkey or distributed, are important components of smart power supply grids. 16. Chemistry and principles. A voltaic cell for demonstration purposes. In this example, the two half cells are linked by a salt bridge that permits the transfer of ions. Batteries convert chemical energy directly to electrical energy. In many cases, the electrical energy released is the difference in the cohesive, 17, or bond energies of the metals, oxides, or molecules undergoing the electrochemical reaction. For instance, energy can be stored in Zn or Li, which are high-energy metals because they are not stabilized by d-electron bonding, unlike transition metals. Batteries are designed so that the energetically favorable redox reaction can occur only when electrons move through the external part of the circuit. A battery consists of some number of voltaic cells. Each cell consists of two half cells connected in series by a conductive electrolyte containing metal cations. One half cell includes electrolyte and the negative electrode, the electrode to which anions, negatively charged ions, migrate. The other half cell includes electrolyte and the positive electrode, to which cations, positively charged ions, migrate. Cations are reduced, electrons are added, at the cathode, while metal atoms are oxidized, electrons are removed, at the anode. 18. Some cells use different electrolytes for each half cell. Then a separator is used to prevent mixing of the electrolytes while allowing ions to flow between half cells to complete the electrical circuit. Each half cell has an electromotive force, EMF, measured in volts, relative to a standard. The net EMF of the cell is the difference between the EMFs of its half cells. 19. Thus, if the electrodes have EMFs and then net EMF is, in other words, the net EMF is the difference between the reduction potentials of the half reactions. 20. The electrical driving force or across the terminals of a cell is known as the terminal voltage difference, and is measured in volts. 21. The terminal voltage of a cell that is neither charging nor discharging is called the open circuit voltage and equals the EMF of the cell. Because of internal assistance. 22. The terminal voltage of a cell that is discharging is smaller in magnitude than the open circuit voltage, and the terminal voltage of a cell that is charging exceeds the open circuit voltage. 23. An ideal cell has negligible internal resistance, so it would maintain a constant terminal voltage of until exhausted, then dropping to zero. If such a cell maintained 1.5 volts and produce a charge of 1 coulomb, then on complete discharge it would have performed 1.5 joules of work. 21. In actual cells, the internal resistance increases under discharge. 22. And the open circuit voltage also decreases under discharge. If the voltage and resistance are plotted against time, the resulting graphs typically are a curve. The shape of the curve varies according